afternoon, everybody. Welcome. It's a post-Memorial Day, Leader to Leader, presented by LEAD Brevard, Brevard County's Leadership Development and Deployment Organization. How you doing today? I'm Geo Ropert of Ropert and Partners Public Relations. I'm going to be your host for the next few minutes as we jump back into business. Hope you had a nice long weekend. I know a lot of people took off Friday as well as Monday, and then kind of said, well, what are we going to do? Because there is certainly limited options as what was opposed to before. It is just the kind of the new norm. So hopefully found something to do. I know I saw a lot of people out at the beach. I don't know how that social distancing went. I didn't get a chance to get out there. And of course, yesterday it just poured down rain here in Brevard County for the whole day. So there was nothing you really were going to do. I got a lot of cleaning done. That's, cleaning and burgers. So that was my highlight for the day. But hey, you got to live with the weather and then see what's going to happen. But a lot going on here, a lot of changes happening as we're starting to see some of the restrictions being relaxed, folks kind of trying to get back to what they can call their new normal. But there's still a long way to go. We got a lot of work to do. And so a lot of things aren't going to change. And so we have to kind of make those adaptations and continue on. And one of the guests I've got today is really, man, I'm so happy he's joined me today. And you want to talk about somebody who, you know what, there's not a word stop in his vocabulary. I really have to say, Vinnie, thank you so much for joining me. Vinnie Taranto is here with me today. This guy is got a resume like you wouldn't believe. I'm telling you what, really, Vinnie, and thank you so much for coming on board today. You're a 2014 LEAD Brevard graduate. He's an IT consultant with the state's attorney's office. He's the vice president with TMA, which is a property management and development specializing in retirement communities. He's the CEO and founder with Media Over Matter Productions, a film company, the chief information officer with the state's attorney's office. And when he's not doing all that stuff, he's supporting the community. He's part of the Indian River Lagoon Citizen Oversight Committee, chairman of the Indian-Atlantic Environmental Advisory Task Force, member of the Innovative Housing Group, and he's also on the LEAD Brevard Board of Directors as the Curriculum Committee Chair for Leadership Brevard program. So Vinnie, welcome. Thank you for joining me today. I really appreciate it.
Geo, it's my pleasure. Thank you, man. But really, the thing that I think I left it out of my resume too is that I'm an amazing tomato plant grower. I've been growing some tomato plants here, and I'll have to put some photos up later. But I swear, tomatoes the size of your head, man. It's crazy.
Oh my goodness,
crazy stuff.
And that's the kind you're going to find in the supermarket. Huh? These are the homegrown kind.
Homegrown, and they're so good, man. They're so good.
I'm telling you, there is a big difference between homegrown and what you buy in the stores. You can definitely tell. So,
there is. It's all about the love. I give my tomato plants love every morning.
Exactly.
Every morning.
Talk to them, give them love,
right. Hang out with them. Sing to them. It's a beautiful thing.
I love it. Well, you know what? And that is, I've seen it happen. I've had more people than not. I've grown stuff over. I'm more of a plant guy, but as far as veggies go, I had some last year. I grew tomatoes, and oh my goodness, those were the best ever. So, well, good. Maybe we'll do a whole show on veggies.
Let's do a cooking show, Geo. Geo and Vinnie's cooking show, man. Come on now. We get together, a couple of paisans, make some sauce. Yeah.
I have a whole new Facebook Live show ready to go.
Sounds good.
Oh man, Vinnie. Hey, I guess because LEAD Brevard is presenting this, we do have to talk about leadership. But tomatoes, we're definitely going to do a show on tomatoes.
We'll get back to tomatoes later.
Vinnie, share with me a little bit about your leadership style, kind of what you define as a leader and how you see yourself as a leader.
I think the only thing that's involved in being a leader is being there. If you are there, that's where it starts. And it's all about being there. It's all about being educated. It's all about learning and trying to work with others. There are leaders everywhere. It's so funny. People always ask me, are you happy with your leadership? Nowadays with the way everybody is, left wing, right wing, one way or another, independent, and they always, they're always complaining about leaders or asking, how do you feel about our leaders? And I see leaders everywhere, man. I see leaders helping kids cross the street with crossing guards. I see people in grocery stores that are doing things for others. leadership is everywhere. It's under every rock. And so it's all about being there. If you can be there, you can lead.
That's awesome. That's a great insight. I don't think anybody has ever quite put it that way in the couple of weeks we've been doing this. I love that. I love that. How and so how do you, when you're in a group or with an organization, and I've worked with you on the Innovative Housing Committee and had the honor of being around you at that. How do you define when you're in a situation? You talk about being present. Is there something that you really feel when you're in a group of folks and how you want to be as a leader?
Yeah. It's kind of funny. Maybe, I don't know. So the Citizens Oversight Committee for the Lagoon that I'm on, it's a 14-member panel. And we have meetings, and I think in our bylaws, it says if the meeting goes longer than 3 hours, we have to actually have motions to extend the meeting. And one of the things that taught me, besides seeing what a 5 or 6 hour meeting looks like, because we had one of those when after the heavy storms from the hurricane 2 years ago, and the city or the county opened up the wastewater to into the lagoon. We had citizens came in and they wanted to talk, and we're there to hear. That's our role, is to hear. So we had hours and hours of citizen input, and that's exactly what it was, input. But besides learning how to pace yourself at long meetings, I think it's so important, and even more important nowadays, to listen to what other people are saying and contribute if you have something different to say. And that's not saying don't take away your voice, but I think a lot of times there is so much noise out there, and there's this thing called signal to noise ratio, and it's all about the amount of information that can get through all this background noise. And I think what I learned in that is listen to what people are saying. And I know I've got something to say, but if I've got something to say, it can be maybe said separately in a one-to-one conversation, or is the same thing that's been said, but maybe slightly different, then just think about, maybe I won't say it in the benefit of everybody else. So it's quite an interesting thing to sit in a meeting with the people that are so brilliant. They're way more brilliant than I am, and listen to them, and then just see whether or not, I don't know. My father used to always say, taste your words. And he used to say, my Aunt Sadi used to always say, Vinnie, your Aunt Sadi used to always say, taste your words before you speak. And I just think that was one of the things that I learned in working with brilliant people is, and a lot of people say that you should always surround yourself with smarter people than you are. And Geo, don't tell anybody in the groups that we work on, but y'all are way smarter than me. Don't tell them that. No. Don't tell them that. But if you can listen and find the interesting things to say in between what's said, you can contribute. And but sometimes, again, just being there, just sitting there. If you go to a meeting and let's say there's 2 or 3 people at a meeting, or you go to a meeting and there's 9, 10, 11 people there, and even if 4 or 5 of them are just sitting there thinking, that it just changes the dynamic of the meeting. It makes it feel like there's so much more to it. It empowers people. It inspires people. It lets other people know that others are feeling the same way and want to help.
Yeah, you're so right. And I think one of the things that that resonated so much with me, because there are a lot of times when I will sit there knowing that I am not the brightest bulb on the tree, and yet there are certain things I might know, but I don't have to say something in between everybody else's breaths. There's a time and a place. Take it in. Understand first, is what you're going to add really going to be valuable, or is it just filling airtime?
Is it just noise?
It's I'm used. I was a radio jock for several years, and have always, dead air is not something you ever want when you're on the radio. But it's okay to have it if you're going to be in a group and you want to stop for a moment and kind of soak it in, and then have something to say. But so right on that, Vinnie. Over to Leadership Brevard. You were a part of the graduating class of 2014. Congratulations. They're the
best
second
class
best
ever.
class.
I don't know if anyone's ever said best class ever, but 2014, clearly we're the best class ever.
Clearly it was. In fact, I read an article in Florida today that said that. I think I saw it there, something, or
somewhere in there. I'm certain.
Somebody spray painted on the side of a building in downtown Melbourne. I'm not sure what it was, but that's where I heard it.
It wasn't me. I swear it wasn't me.
Tell me a little bit about the Leadership Brevard experience. What did it teach you, or what did it unveil to you?
Man, I got hooked. I got hooked. I put my arm out and said, hook the IV right in, feed me some leadership stuff, some leadership programs. Yeah, so let me tell you a little bit like what we did. And I also want to tell you a little bit about the future too. So I went through the class 2014, born and raised in Brevard County, moved away to go to school to the University of Florida. There's a little blanket back there with a little gator head on it.
I
That
see
one's for
that.
you, Bart. My good buddy, Bart Kitchens. He loves the Gators.
Oh, yeah.
But anyways, so born and raised here, and moved away, came back, and I had some friends that did the Leadership Brevard program. And at first, no lie, I was kind of like, well, I don't know, that program seems kind of like elitist, you know, they're just taking a certain number of people from the community and they're gonna get them all together and they're gonna feed them all Kool-Aid and you know they're all gonna get abducted into aliens and go off into space. And so I said, you know what, I'll try it. Let's try the program, see what it's about. And I couldn't have been more wrong. And yes, that you've heard me right, and I'm even broadcasting this. I was wrong once. That one time, Geo, I was wrong. But I couldn't be more wrong about the program.
Let's mark that on the
mark that down on your calendar. You got that date down there. The program is straight up all about people that care. People that care from all parts of life, from profit, nonprofit, public sector, private sector. We've got somebody in the class now that works in an auto salvage. They're the owner of an auto salvage place. Talk about recycling. You know, there are so many different opinions and perspectives that come together. And it's about people that care, that want to share time with others and make a place better. So my experience was great. It was so good that after I did Leadership Brevard, I went on and did Leadership Florida, which is a statewide leadership program. And that was amazing. And then after that, I started helping out with the curriculum to try to help every year to make the class better. And I've never been involved with a leadership program that throws away everything they've done the year before. You'd think if you developed a leadership program, you'd be like, well, let's just keep it, you know, tweak one or two things. Every summer we sit down and we throw almost everything out. There is one thing that we keep, and it's called SimSoc. And for those that have been in the class, know all about it. For those that haven't been in the class, you really need to learn about it. That's really the only thing we keep, and we throw out everything else every year and start from scratch to make it relevant.
That's great.
And it's a great program. And it's just about connecting with people in the community that care like you. And the last thing I say, I know we're short, but in today's time when we are confined and there is social distancing involved, one of the leadership programs in the nation is actually putting together a nationwide leadership Zoom call. And it is amazing. Wow. You've got 250 people on the call. And these are people from all over the nation. And all they do is they care. They may not be real smart, or they may be super smart. You know, they may be wealthy, or they may be not wealthy and poor. And the thing is that they care. And that's what we have in common. And it takes all walks of life to make changes. So I don't know, leadership programs to me, community leadership programs are just, they're an amazing part of our community. And I'm so thankful and glad to be involved.
I'm glad you said that. It's truly is. You know, we bring so much to the table and then take so much out to the community after that program. I really, you know, I think that anybody who's been through it understands that, you know, it's not only an obligation of yourself to become better internally and better at your job, but it's also to learn how you can go out and take what you've learned and take those connections and make this a better place to live, work, and play, you know, and take your talents where they're most needed. So, and a quick aside from you, what color?
What's that?
What color in SimSoc?
Oh man, I was yellow.
Okay.
So I wasn't the high. Well, I'm not even going to say much, but I had it pretty good. Good, Geo.
I'm right there with you. I was a yellow too. So. Yeah. We share that commonality. So, hey, as we kind of wrap it up here, Vinny, and I really appreciate it. What kind of adaptations have you had to make? I know you're doing a lot in office and that kind of stuff, but with all the things going on, what kind of changes have you had to make to your kind of routine and some of the work that you're doing?
You know, it's funny to tie it back around. You talked about Memorial Day and what people did, and the weather was really nasty, and kind of you had to find things to do, and you might have did some cooking and some cleaning, and I actually did work. I was working on some servers, and one of the adaptations, the reason I say that, not to brag at all, but to tell you about one of my weaknesses and one of the things that I've had to adapt to. I'm a bit of a workaholic. My parents, my father, one of my friends said my father is Brevard's hardest working man. And if you ever see a little old Italian guy that looks like Mario, like working somewhere, digging a ditch along the side of the road, it's probably my father. Just pat him on the back and say, hey, Vinny would like you to come home now. You know, one of the things that I've had to learn and adapt is to pace myself. In the past, when there were things to do, when there were places to go, I would go outside and go do things and have some fun. Now that there isn't so much when I'm home, I really do feel an obligation and a responsibility to my community. They've given me so much, and I feel I need to give back so much. So one of the things I've had to learn and adapt is to try to limit how much of myself that I'm giving out without taking back. Because I realize that I'm not good if I can't take care of myself. And so, you know, there's a few things that I've used. One of them is called a Timular. I don't know if you've heard of it. It's like an 8-sided dice, and it's connected to your phone or to your computer through Bluetooth. And you can put it on a different side, and it keeps track of your time. So one of the things on that is actually recreation time. And so I put it on the recreation time when I'm doing things that I consider, you know, recreating. And then I look back over the week and I go, man, I really did a bad job this week at recreating.
Right.
But I think it's that time management. It's a time management, and it's a realization. It's a realization that you want to give, you want to give, you want to give. But if you don't take care of yourself, there won't be anything to give.
Yeah.
And that it really is a balance.
I think you're so right with that, and I think it's something that we tend to forget about. You know, what I've learned is that I very much, and now especially, thank goodness, my gym reopened, and so my day has this beginning to it that it's been missing for a while. There, it was like, yeah, I wake up at 5 every morning, but then I'd hit the alarm and sleep till 7. Well, now, you know, back into that routine, but at the same time, the day has a beginning and the day has an end. And you know, you get to that 6 o'clock hour or so, you're done and you're finished. And I turn the computer off and I walk away like I have left business for the day, and, you know, take that time. And like you said, that recreation time where, you know, on a weekend, you may be like, oh, you know, what do I do next? What do I do next? And it's work related. And you're like, oh, wait, there's fun out there too. I gotta remember to do a little bit of that. So,
yeah.
Really some great insights. Vinny, thank you so much for being with me today and joining me. I know it's taking time out of that, but maybe you'll recreate a little after this.
Well, we were talking about tomatoes and cooking, Geo, so maybe we can do some of that to recreate later. And you're on the left of me, right? So if I turn this way, it's like I'm looking at you, like the Brady Bunch, right?
Yeah, there you go.
There you go. All right, Geo, it was really nice talking to you. Thank you so much.
Oh, you know, I appreciate it, Vinny. Thank you. You know, one of the things that's so hard is I've got, you know, you and me here on the monitor, but I've got to look at the camera.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, you know, you look like you're completely unengaged. And so that's one of the things I've learned. And I have a high respect for news reporters after this, because they can do that. Although I wish I had my script that would
your teleprompter. Yeah, your teleprompter with all the words.
There you go.
You could read.
Oh my goodness. All right. Well, Vinnie Taranto, and you are one of the true gems in our community. Again, thank you for joining us today. I really, truly appreciate it. Ladies and gentlemen, we are finishing it up for the day. This is Leader to Leader, brought to you by LEAD Brevard every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday at 12:15 p.m. Eastern Time. I am Geo Ropert from Ropert and Partners, Public Relations, a graduate of the best class, 2001. Yeah, I got to throw that in there, Vinny. Sorry.
Yeah, you got it.
But we're all proud of where we stood in this and where we stand today. And I hope that you'll continue to join us. If you're interested in becoming part of Leadership Brevard or one of the many programs that it offers throughout the community, go to leadbrevard.org, or you can call 321-632-8222 and get more information. If you want some support in public relations and marketing, especially today when you got so many messages you've got to get out, but you've got to get them out the right way, go to ropertandpartners.com, and I would be happy to serve you. Until we see you tomorrow at 12:15, Dale Dupree is our guest. Come and join me. This guy's got a great
Oh,
story.
it's going to be a good one. It's going to
He
be a
is
good one. Can I
something
come
else.
back? Geo, can I come back tomorrow?
Exactly. We'll bring everybody in. I think we can have a reunion when this is all over too. Have
I don't want
everybody
to steal
come.
Dale's thunder.
Oh, it's been great. So, hey, you take care, folks. Have yourself a great day, and we will see you tomorrow.
See you.